Ayy, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a dream, next to the team, yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring, finna be immortalized. Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile of here.
Hey, how you doing, folks? Chris Harris here. Another episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. Uh, we are here, week one. It's what we've been waiting for all summer. It's time to we're gonna break down these week one matchups here around the area. Some of the guys running late this evening. Anthony Goodman, he'll be joining us when he can. But we got a familiar face. I'm sure you guys, everyone recognizes this guy joining me this evening. He's the host of Off the Claw podcast featuring the Lakewood Lepers and other local sports. But that's we got Brandon Blackwell joining us this evening. Brandon, welcome back to the show, man.
Hey, man, feels good to be here. Man, a lot to talk about. Gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be a fun show.
Yes, sir. Once again, man, appreciate everyone joining us this evening. As always, feel free to comment any questions, any observations you have, anything that we're talking about. Please feel free to put your input in. Definitely like to engage with all our listeners. And once again, man, just appreciate everyone for listening. Let me give a big shout out to everyone. We hit a goal that we talked about last week. Hit our 4K mark over on Facebook as far as the followers go. So really appreciate that. Like I said, man, like I said in the post, 3 years ago, had no idea it would be grow anything like this. 3 years ago, I'll be happy just to get 100 views and a couple comments, but I definitely appreciate all the support. And help us all if you haven't done so already, man. Share the page. Tell somebody about it. If you know somebody that loves high school football, especially in Eastern North Carolina, be sure to share the page with them. And also hit we're on Instagram and YouTube as well. So be sure to follow us there. A lot to talk about, Brandon, man. A whole lot to talk about. And I have some fires and stuff to put out as well tonight, man. I know it was a lot of talk about my recap show Saturday, but we're going to get to that, man. But we got a great slate of games that we're going to talk about this evening. I know I'm ready. I know Brandon's ready, and I know all y'all are ready, man. Like I said, we've been waiting on this all summer. Football season is officially. I mean, it's been, the kids been practicing and everything. We got scrimmages and stuff, but it's the real deal this Friday night. Hell, actually, we got some JV games in the area popping off tonight and tomorrow. So definitely be going out there and supporting them and checking them out as well. But I know I'm ready for Friday. Brandon's ready for Friday, and ready to talk about run down some of these games for y'all this evening. Real quick, like I said, we are live here on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please feel free to comment. And I promise you, I'm not ignoring y'all on Instagram. For some reason, y'all chat comes up a little separate, so I gotta click back and forth to check y'all out. But shout out to 71st Athletics, telling everyone good luck this season, and shout out to Buswee Sport for covering NC student athletes. Appreciate that, 71st Athletics. I know y'all gonna have a great season this year. For show, 71st, Southview versus Jack Britt Thursday. He says be there, so that should definitely be a good one. Hopping back over. Shout out to Mr. Timmy Williams. I know he's a Hopton guy, man. Y'all got a big game this Friday night, big time rivalry game. We'll be talking about that. Said SB Goodman on rewrite. Hey, he's on the way. He's on the way, man. He's doing some work for the SI, man. So he'll be joining us, and hopefully he'll be joining us by the time we start talking about his Hopton Wildcats. But once again, man, appreciate everyone listening in, and please continue to send your comments in. Let's see, who's Mr. Crazy Man on Instagram said North Johnson finna be 0-1. Okay, I hear you now. So we're going to go ahead and get started real quick. If you look at the screen here, this is some of some of our games that we'll be talking about this evening. A lot of great games. One thing I noticed when I look at this list, man, just a lot of great matchups. Got a couple of rivalry games, a couple questions going to be answered about a couple teams, man. So definitely looking forward to just running down some of these games this evening. A lot of great matchups. Anything on this list stand out to you, Brandon?
Man, there's a lot on this list stands out. Early in the season already, you got Midway at Hopton, East Duplin and Wallace. You got, of course, Lakewood and Clinton. So, I mean, whew, starting it off with steam.
Oh yes, sir, yes, sir. And before I forget, man, real quick, man, let me send a shout out to our guy Anthony Berry. He won't be joining us this evening. Just I'll ask everyone to send him your thoughts and prayers, man. He's been going through some things, and I just want to let him know, man, we're thinking about your brother, man. Hopefully everything gets right, and hopefully you'll be joining us. Come back, join us real soon. But one thing I want to talk about real quick before we get into the games, man, we're going to be making picks this evening, and hopefully Brandon could give us some picks in the place of Anthony Berry tonight. We're going to be trying to keep up with just a contest, a friendly contest amongst each other this season, and see how many we could who could get the most right, best percentage, and so we'll be picking some. We'll be going through when we go through the games. We'll be making our picks this evening. And at the end of the year, we'll probably have like we'll deal out like a gift card or whatever, whoever gets the most right. But just want to let y'all know how we're gonna run that down. And I promise I'm gonna do a better job than I did last year, because last year I just kind of lost track, and it just kind of we kind of said whatever after a while.
Right. Look, somebody went on a cruise or something, and
yeah, it was like I missed a week, and then everything just fell apart and couldn't. And we just couldn't get right after that. But I'm gonna do my best to keep up with it this season. Like I said, man, we'll be winner get a gift card. Maybe we'll do like a $100 gift card to Texas Roadhouse or something like that. Unfortunately, I probably won't. If I were to win, I probably wouldn't be able to use it. So, because I'm gonna be out the country, so I might just don't. If I win, I may donate it to to one of the kids, or one of our top followers that follow the page or something like that. But let me see. I was hoping. Well, I'm gonna skip that one for right now because I kind of want Anthony to be here when we talk about that Midway and Hopton game. So our first game we'll discuss tonight, man. We got the High Trash Titans taking on the East Bladen Eagles. Two really two local teams, two teams that I feel are going to be very competitive this year. I haven't had a chance to check out Trash. It's going to be a new look Trash team. They got a new head coach. I did get a chance to see East Bladen a little bit in the Bash at the Beach last week. They look like the typical solid East Bladen team. But I had the opportunity to really kind of dive into covering Trash and some of their athletes this offseason. And one thing that really impressed me about them, what they got coming back, is just some of those guys on that offensive line. And I see Jordan Ward in the comments, man. And me and Jordan, we talked a lot about Trash over the offseason, so he already knows. But yeah, they have a kid named Geo Driggers, 6'6", 300 plus, and I mean this not just a sloppy 300-pound. This kid can move, man. He got some moves. Extremely athletic, great feet, great basketball player, which I love. He reminds me, Brandon, of a offensive lineman that a really outstanding athletic offensive lineman that wore that Lakewood Leopard jersey last year. He reminds me a lot. He has a lot of attributes like Cameron Williams has. Just you don't really see big guys moving, the way they move, the way these guys move like that. And if I'm a college scout, man, I'm beating down this door because, man, when you get a kid that has offensive lineman that has great feet, great hands, plays with great leverage, and I'm saying he, like I said, 6'6", 300 pounds. He has the frame. Yeah, like I said, I'm beating his door down. But yeah, he reminds me a lot of Cameron Williams. But
Well, if he
yeah, like
reminds
I
you of
said,
Cam, then he's a stud. And I'm
yeah,
just gonna say, just off his size alone, even just being an okay player, off his size alone, if his grades and stuff are right, he
oh
can go
yeah,
about anywhere he wants to. Um, but being that he's that size, he's agile, he can move, he's got good feet, man. It's got to be the limit for the kid. I'm interested in. I remember talking about him quite a bit last year. I'm interested in seeing where he ends up.
oh yes, sir. But like I said, so I'm really impressed with just, and he's not the only one. Trask has a couple on that offensive line that I got to check out this offseason. And you know how I feel about the line play. They are rocking in a new offensive scheme with the new head coach. So like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to check them out, see any of their preseason scrimmages. So I can't really speak off top of how they look per se. But like I said, from the kids that I got to cover, man. I'm expecting some big things out of them, man. I'm expecting them to. They were young last year. I'm expecting them to take that next step. As far as this game goes, this was a very competitive game last season. This game went into overtime last season. East Bladen won 12-6. That's the game that Keywan Maynard had a big play to help win the game for the Eagles this season. And for my first pick, man, I'm feeling like I'm really liking Trask in this one. I feel like it's going to be a very competitive game, probably one of the most competitive games in the area. Nothing against East Bladen. Like I said, I like the way East Bladen looked last week. They moved the ball well, really had a great ball control offense in that scrimmage against Topsail. They were able to throw the ball when needed to, which is always crucial for a passing team. But I'm really high on Trask's potential, and like I said, I've heard nothing but good things from Jordan this offseason. And I feel like up front they could really if they could establish that line of scrimmage and do what they want to do. I'm taking Trask, and I believe it's going to be a very competitive game. But I like Trask in this one.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on it, Chris. Just for the sheer fact of knowing what we knew about them last year and seeing what they did, I know they're gonna come back this year with something to prove. They got a smart group of coaches out there, got a good group of kids. We talked about it several times last year. It's hard to beat a good team twice, and yeah, it's a new season, but they coming in with some fire under them. You know what I'm saying? They got something to play for when they step in there. I think Trask will be hard to take on this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, man, like I said before, please feel free if you want to comment on anything we're talking about. Let me see. Jordan Ward, he's in the conversation. He said, "Hey, win in the trenches, yes, sir."
Mhm.
We got a Lakewood comment there. He said, said the real ones know the GOAT Lakewood lineman is old boy Brandon
Yep.
Strickland.
Yep.
But whenever Anthony's able to hop on and join us, we'll circle back and get his we'll make sure we get his pick in, his thoughts on that one. But our next one for our Sampson County folks, this is going to be a big one. I'm excited to see this one. Definitely. We got Union Spartans hosting Spring Creek. Man, it goes without saying, I was extremely impressed with this new look Union Spartan team. Man, they really came out with a lot of intensity last week. You could tell that the crowd's getting into it. So Spartan Nation should be that stadium should be packed Friday night. I'm excited to see the next step. They Union's got good size. They got good numbers. Tobias Cromartie is Tobias. He's the same. He's doing his thing. The same thing that the same as we saw last season. Man, the kid's just explosive. Once he gets to that second level, he's just a big play waiting to happen. So I mean, he could affect the game so much. And you also saw just some good things just out of some great things out of the defense. Manny Adams, freshman, Marquavis Melvin, Joseph Suarez, like all these kids, like they got some guys that's really stepping up this season, and they're going to be this is not going to be that same Union squad that you saw the last couple of years, man. These kids they trusted the process. They've been in the program for a couple of years now. Coach Oates has been able to. He's got a great staff, and I feel like a lot of these 50-50 games that kind of went the wrong way for him last season are going to go right for him this year. And it starts with week 1, so of course week 1 out the gate, I'm taking Union Spartans to open the season off 1-0.
Again, I'm agreeing with you on it. Not just because Brandon's over there, because Magic's over there, but I popped out at the Jamboree. I watched these guys. I mean, a huge turnaround from what we seen last year out of Union. I mean, I mean, Magic right now would probably be shouting real loud and say something about cricket or tennis or something, but I'm not Magic, so. but man, I talked with the coaches after the game. I talked with some of the players afterwards. Man, I mean, there's a whole new feel. There's a whole new feel at Union. It's not hype. It's a lot of these guys are very humble, and some of them probably been humbled these last couple of years. It might be why, but a lot of those guys are really humble. You could tell that they're focused, that they're there for each other. They got a saying over at Union is "we, not me," and you could tell them boys believe that. I met one of the guys out there. He laid a boom out there on one. I mean, had the whole crowd real quick. Ooh, you heard the whole stadium. I was like, okay, but I mean, that kid's young. I'm not gonna say he's young. I don't remember now if he's in his junior or senior year, but kid never played football. He I guess he actually studies and practices in MMA. But he stepped out on the football field, man, and he laid a boom right there at the Jamboree. Got another kid out there. I can't remember his name to save my life, but he was another one. If you look at him, you would never expect it. He's stocky, short kid. I mean, and he popped one out there, same thing. And I said, man, I mean, they got good size on the line. The guys are smart. Yeah. They got smart coaches. Now they don't have a lot of size everywhere else on the field. But the guys are there to play. I mean, you got one of probably the smaller teams in the area, going off their secondaries. You got probably one of the smaller teams in the area, probably laid two of the biggest hits, probably close to two of the biggest hits of the night out there at the Jamboree. So I'm riding high on Union, man. I'm very proud of them. It was an honor to be able to watch them and meet those guys and kind of be a part of this journey from where they were last year coming into this year. Spring Creek, they had some size on them last year when we faced them. I'm not sure what they got coming back. Sorry, it's just not a school that I really track like that. And again, Lakewood don't see them this year. So for what I guess, I don't know, we probably had to replace some stuff on the schedule for some of these newer teams that were playing. But so we don't see them this year. So they're not somebody I really studied and looked into. But I know from last year, they had some decent size, but it was almost like there was no fire to them. They just out there to say they out there. Of course, that could turn around, but I think Union takes this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do have a 1,000-yard quarterback returning, but unfortunately, like over 95% of that usage came from 95% of that offense came from a wide receiver who's now at Kinston, Brennan Chambers.
Oh, that's the 6'5" kid.
So, yeah, that's a 6'5" kid. So they don't have that this year. So, like I said, Spring Creek's a program that's been pretty down for a while now, and like I said, nothing against them, but I just feel like what I saw from Union last week, they're definitely, like I said, we talk about those 50-50 games, and some of the ones that went against them last season, I feel like this is one of the ones that's definitely going to go in their favor this year. And real quick, the guy you was talking about, who's Mr. Crazy Man on Instagram, said he's a senior. And I definitely I didn't mean to open. And like I said, if I ever omit somebody, I'm not doing it on purpose, man. Just sometimes you just don't remember all the kids' names right off the top of your head. But David Roblero, he's definitely another one solid one that they have returning.
Yep.
Plays both ways and always been a solid athlete for them. So, but yeah, definitely looking forward to checking out Union. Real quick, man, let me give a shout out to Mr. SB, man, for the donation. Appreciate that. And just another one of his comments that he just made. Said he's always like you because those red uniforms pop. But
He ain't right.
yeah,
Everybody
that
wear
is.
black and gold.
Yeah, everybody else is black and gold. I just Union's the only one that Union and Midway the only ones that really kind of stand out. We all the rest of us just
Yep.
black and gold, black and gold. But appreciate once again, SB. Appreciate the donation and appreciate your comments, man. Let's see real quick. All right, like I said, man, if y'all have any comments or anything we're talking about, please feel free. Let me see. Lante said, that sucks. But like coach was talking about on Brandon's show the other night, man. That's one of those things that he can understand. He can understand, why he did what why he did what he did. That's a big time too. But definitely gonna miss seeing them. That man, I still remember that play he made in the playoffs against North Duplin. Like like I said, one of my biggest, and I always talk about the offensive line, but man, I love a high school that uses a tight end. When you got a really good tight end, man, that's just a really versatile weapon that a lot of schools, can't really, they're not, can't handle, especially when you got a kid like that he's too big for your typical DB to take on 1-on-1 and too fast for your typical linebacker. So yeah, he was definitely a weapon, and he's definitely miss, but definitely wish him all the luck up there as he's up there. And I think he said Providence Day now, so I know he's gonna do. I've been checking him out over the summer, man. He's gonna do big things on that court, man, regardless of where he's
Yeah,
at.
man, I'm proud of the kid. I'm proud for the kid and his family. Of course, I hate to lose him, but anytime somebody's better in their situation or feel like they're better in their situation, even, you know, I'm behind them as long as things are done and handled the right way. I mean, can't nobody fault somebody for trying to put themselves in a better situation. And I
Yes, sir.
think there were some offers on the table for that kid that the family couldn't refuse. So, I mean,
Yeah.
much luck and God bless the whole family and their journey. And I hope to see Xavier do well. I've known him since about sixth grade. So, um, good luck to you, kid, if you happen to watch it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so moving on and shout out Kelvin Stevens, man. He always tunes in with us, man. Appreciate you listening in. Next game we'll talk about we got James Keenan heading up to Southern Wayne. Uh, man, based like I said, I talked to him. I talked these guys up this summer. I know a lot of JK fans were being kind of coy about it, like they were going to be, oh, we got a lot to replace and this, that, and third. I think deep down inside, y'all knew what y'all had, man. I checked out, like I said, I got a chance to spotlight a lot of those kids that were returning for James Keenan, and I knew the talent that they were bringing back, and like I said, they had an outstanding JV team last season as well. So you just getting reinforced with that, and just the caliber of coaching they got out that way. I knew. So when I started hearing about them, them going toe to toe with Hoggard and what happened in the Jamboree Friday night, it was not a surprise for me. It's a reason why I had them. I had them in my top 5 preseason as far as 3A East goes. Definitely won't surprise me if they end up, in a regional championship game or a state championship game. They're just that talented of a team right now, and definitely one to definitely keep your eye on. But as far as this game goes, man, I got James Keenan uh, in a route, man. I feel like it might be an early night for y'all. The mercy rule is 35 points now, so it might, like I said, it may be an early night for y'all. But yeah, I got James Keenan, winning easy. I mean, like I said, I'm no disrespect to Southern Wayne, but yeah, those Tigers, they're something else, man. They're something special, and definitely look forward to checking out some of the guys, what they do this season.
The question don't really even need to be asked to me. Anybody that knows me already knows. I glazed them the other night on my show. I'm gonna try not to glaze them too much, but I'm gonna say one of the hard things with James Keenan is, first off, they got crazy speed, but the real hard thing about them is they're so deceptive. When you look at that team, you don't expect them to play like they play. You don't expect a 165-pound guy to come out the backfield and dribble you. You don't you I mean you like you don't expect stuff like that. Like JK plays with a different kind of heart than a lot of these programs around here, and I said it many times last season. If y'all were here listening to me, a good culture is harder to beat than a good football team. And they got both. Yeah, JK. I ain't got nothing else.
And like I say, I see some of our listeners definitely agree with us. Travis Johnson said James Keenan by a lot. He said they're going to be one of the top teams in the 3A East. Yes, sir. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like I said, if I had to pick today, they're definitely in the Eastern Championship game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just like I said. They got a great group returning. They got reinforced with some young guys. Yeah, it's tough replacing the kids that they lost, but yeah, they definitely got some studs out there, and yeah, they're definitely from what I saw Friday night, man. They're gonna be a fun team to watch, man. Especially defensively, man. They were studs last year on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they're going to bring the heat once again this season, man. Shout out to number 9 Cal Avent. Just man, like he said he's one of the kids I spotlighted over the summer, and yeah, that kid's got it, man. And it's a lot of them that got it on that team. So, like I said, nothing against Southern Wayne. I see they're coming off a 1-9 season. Like I said, that's a tough first home opener for him. But yeah, I got James Keenan winning that one, and I see Brandon does too. So, any other comments? I see Joseph said JK. Yep, let me slide over to the Instagram real quick. No comments over there, so we're gonna keep it moving. Our next game we'll talk about. We're going, and then I said this is where I'm missing my guy. I'm missing my guy Anthony Berry, man. He could tell us a little bit more about the South Carolina school that we got up here, but we got a North Carolina South Carolina border war here. Got Dillon taking on Scotland. Like I said, just going down the list of games, this is one of the games that stood out. I know we had a couple of Scotland fans up here last week that were saying this should have been our game of the week, but of course, like I said, man, we're homers, man. We're gonna take care of our Sampson County, Duplin County, Bladen County schools. That's our foundation there. But this is definitely gonna be should be a good game. A lot of talent on that field. Like I said, I wish my guy Anthony Berry was here to talk more about it because he knows more about Dillon than being a Marlboro County fan than I do. But just based off what I've seen in the past, man, they're one of the schools that kind of stand out. Like I said, I don't know everything about South Carolina high school football, but they are a recognizable name. I had to kind of did a little bit of research in the PD area of South Carolina, and they're definitely one of the top teams coming back this season. And they're going to be tough to beat, man. And I'm gonna go with Dillon in this one. Like I said, I know Scotland definitely has some talent. Kind of looking at how this game went last season. It can be competitive early on, but I feel like Dillon just too much talent there. They'll pull away late, and I'll give that one to Dillon. If I don't know, Brandon, if you have pick, you like me, man. We're kind of off on the South Carolina stuff. But.
I know a little bit about Dillon just because that's where some of the guys that Aiden was doing 7-on-7 were from. They're from up in that area. I know they're a tough team. I know that's one of them programs out in that area that just, seems to have the culture, seems to have it figured out. They usually stay at the top. Um, that being said, I don't. I actually don't know a whole lot about Scotland County now. I know more about Scotland County from my years of ball, my nephew's years of ball. Again, they're
Yeah.
not a team that I have to think about or worry about, so I don't look into a whole lot. But I do know that that's always been one of them schools in this area that in their weight class, they're a contender. I mean, year after year. If not, I mean, they're the fourth round. You know, if they're not a contender, they're at least in the fourth round about every year. Back in my day, and you know, uh, you know, I say as of about 6 years ago, that's how it was. Again, being that I don't have a full scoop on both, I know this is going to be a dog fight without a doubt. You don't have jumbotrons on your field and stuff like that for no reason. You don't get to play music and play dogs barking while the other team trying to call plays and you ain't earned the right. Um, so I'm gonna rock with the Fighting Scots on this one. Just to
Okay.
keep it in North Carolina and of course, I mean that's North Carolina school. I want to see them boys, dig it out all season. Unless they ain't playing my Leopards, I ain't worried with it. So let them do their thing.
Yes, I feel you. I feel you. And then Scotland, definitely has a talent. I mean, they got one of the one of the best coaches in the area. Richard Bailey's been doing it doing it big for years. They
Oh yeah,
definitely had their share of really really great teams and just one of the premier football programs in the area. Do have some talented running backs. Uh, one of the kids, just got freshman running back. Before he even played his first varsity snap. Already getting an offer from University of North Carolina. So they, they got some talent out there in Laurinburg. So I feel like it's going to be a really solid game and a game to definitely one of the games that I'm definitely going to be interested in. Checking in on a Friday night and seeing how that goes. But yeah.
two powerhouse programs, man.
Oh yes, sir. And we got any comments? Any comments from the chat on Scotland versus Dillon, North Carolina versus South Carolina border war. Let me swing over to the Instagram, make sure I ain't missing nothing. All right, keep it moving. All right, we have no comments. We'll circle back if anybody wants to speak on that one. Moving on to our next one, another big one in the East. Another game that kind of really jumped off the page for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a big influx of Wilmington, followers come start following the page over the summer. We were spotlighting some of the kids down there in Hoggard and New Hanover, and this is one of the games that I was kind of looking at too, as far as just you talk about two big time programs in Eastern North Carolina going at it on at the start of the season. Richmond County, um, tons of talent, lots of history. Hoggard has a great, Hoggard's always been one of the most solid programs in the 910 area down there in Wilmington. A ton of great players. A surprisingly young last season and did extremely well for a team with the amount of sophomores they had in big time spots for them. But as far as this game goes, man, Richmond County, I'm gonna give the edge to Richmond County. I know Scotland. I mean, I know Hoggard is the home team, but I know Richmond returns a ton of talent. That school, they're just different, man. Like I said, I feel like it could be a very competitive game, a great test for both these teams starting out the season because both these teams are looking like state championship contenders. I believe I had both of them in my top five as far as Eastern teams goes in their Pacific classifications. So, like I said, big time prime time matchup in the East. Like I said, I know a lot of people from Wilmington are looking forward to this one, and this one definitely should be a great game. But if I had to pick right now, like I said, I'm gonna go with Richmond County on this one.
I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. Mainly because I like their colors. No, no, I don't know if you remember or not, but you remember we had an episode last year, and I said something about Hoggard coming out on top, and Magic like stood on his head. He was so mad that I said something about Hoggard doing good, and Hoggard had a good season.
Look, Magic stood on his head about a lot of things, man.
You ain't lying.
And shout out to Magic, man. Magic, hey, look, bro, I send you a request every week, man. I'm just waiting for you to get right, man. Come on now, you gonna figure it out. He gonna figure out the restream eventually. He gonna figure it out.
Yeah, man. He's got a lot going on too, with work and family stuff, and then trying to coach. I mean, he's making a haul just to coach down there at Union. But anyway, don't let me get Magic's story. He'll come back and tell it one day. But now I'm gonna go with Hoggard just because I remember I was rocking with them last year. Like you said, they were extremely young last year. Did very well. So if it'll make somebody mad, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going with Hoggard.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely like I said, you got two really, really talented teams. And shout out to Kelvin Stevens said, yeah, Richmond County was the truth in the 90s. Yes, sir. They definitely was. But yeah, I feel like that's a game that, probably go either way, man. Both, like I said, I see both teams being contenders in their Pacific, classifications as far as state championships are concerned.
Man, it's crazy to see so many powerhouse programs and so many big rivalries at it very off the gate. You know what I'm saying? They're getting after. I'm like, bro, you got games happening right now. First real game of the season, and you got a lot of people talking about, oh, this is the game of the year. That's the game of the week. That's the game. You know what I'm saying? They're going down right now. You're gonna find out something about your squad day one.
And I think that was a lot of. I think when they made this, when some of these coaches and athletic directors agreed on the schedule, I think that's probably their intention.
Yep.
Like I said, you got two of both of these teams. They're in different classifications, but they're both looking for the same thing. They're wanting to contend for a state championship, and they want to see what they got right out the gate. So, what better way? Like I said, to be the best, you want to beat the best, you want to play the best, and like I said, these ain't no cupcakes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find out what you're made of in games like this. So from a coaching standpoint, looking at film over the weekend, you're gonna find out a lot about your team with a game like this.
Yep.
But real quick, man, once again, let me remind everyone: if you want to comment, please feel free to comment. We like to engage with everyone, man. So definitely comment any observations or any of your opinions. And like I said, I'm going back and forth on the Instagram. I know in the past I have accidentally ignored the Instagram, but I'm with y'all this evening. So I'm gonna take it to Fayetteville real quick for our next game. Another big time game this coming Friday night. We got the 71st taking on Terry Sanford. Big time game in that area.
Big rivalry. Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, sir. And I'm like I said, I've talked about him over the summer, so people probably know which way I'm leaning towards in a game like this. But of course, I'm taking the 71st Falcons, man. I checked out a couple of their clips from the Cape Fair. The Cumberland County Jamboree, where they took on Apex Friendship, and all the stuff I talked about over the summer. All the stuff we talked about last year. Anytime we talked about 71st, it's still right there, man. That team is one of the most talented teams that you're going to see in this area. That's going to be a team that's going to be extremely fun to watch this season. If you're a 71st fan, you got a lot to be excited about. Like I said, I know I may have sounded a little bit too biased when I did my preseason predictions, but I ain't lying when I said, man, I feel like I made the list. I put 71st at the top, and I kind of felt like, do I really need to name my 2 through 5? Because they're just that good, man. That's a team that's they're coming off of back-to-back appearances in state championship games. They return a lot of talent. They've attracted some talent, and I mean they're just going to keep rolling, man. I really don't see anybody really messing with them this season. But as far as this game goes, I'm definitely taking 71st, and yeah, I'm just extremely impressed. And like I said, I may be biased about this kid, man, but I feel like Sean Pone Jr. PJ is going to be one of the best. Just I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife, man. You can line that kid up anywhere on the field, and he's going to make plays. He's going to make a living in the end zone this year. He's going to taking on a bigger role with some of the guys that graduated last year. So he's taking on a bigger role this year. And I'm not just, like I said, I'm not just saying that because I know his family comes from a great family. And like I said, I've seen the work that kids put in, and it's definitely shown on the field. And yeah, he's gonna be one of the ones that's if you don't know about him now, you're gonna know about him by the time the season's over with. But overall, just really impressed with 71st, and yeah, I got them winning this game.
Yeah, 71st, just another one of them schools you don't have to ask me about. I mean, listen, I'm a Cape Fear alum. Back in the day, I couldn't stay at 71st. You couldn't. Like I didn't like saying the name unless we was talking junk. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, last year in the off season, I watched 71st play. I went out there to see PJ, show him some love and support because if he wasn't there, he'd be right here playing with the Leopards. That being said, I think one of the best things for PJ was ending up at 71st because right now 71st is one of them places where you want to be. A lot of the athletes are wanting to be there, and a lot of the way like Cumberland County works, like you kind of can go where you want to go. You got to choose your school, and 71st has been a program known for going deep. So they acquire a lot of talent. But just because you're talented and walk into 71st doesn't mean you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
If you come in and you're an underclassman or a first year on a squad, don't necessarily mean that you're just going to go out there and do what it is that you think you're going to do, or you're automatically going to walk up and hop out on their varsity squad. They're known for making you take a back seat and making you earn what those other guys have already been there earning. And not that you can't do it or not that they're better than you or nothing else, but you're going to earn your rite of passage, so to speak. And they've also been really good, from talking to Sean and hearing a little bit from PJ as well. Last season, they're really good about those guys working together and mentoring from the guys who have already been there. Say they're in their, third and fourth years. Those guys in their first and second years, they're their counterpart, you know what I'm saying? And they're learning from each other. They're working together. And they build a relationship. They've also been talented enough to run the score up on a lot of the teams that they play, which gives those guys that are taking that back seat, on the second string or whatever, an opportunity to really get in there and get their feet wet in the live football scenarios. Last year, I know the conference has changed up a little bit for 71st with the new realignment stuff. But last year, I mean, they played some squads, man. They played some tough squads. And for you to be able to just say your typical, rivalry teams, it would be a dogfight. Well, with the talent that 71st had, they've been able to, blow a lot of that out of the water, get those guys off the bench in there and get them some experience against some real tough competition.
Yeah.
So now they're way more prepared than next year. So, I mean, 71st, they've got it figured out. They've got a good thing going. I mean, it's working like a well-oiled machine over there, and you can't take nothing from it. So shout out to 71st and shout out to my nephew, PJ. Love you, man. Wish you luck this season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Real quick, SB had a comment. He said, Cumberland County football power is always shifting. He said Douglasburg never used to lose back in the day.
Right.
He said, now look. And that's kind of how it be and notice, bigger the urban areas like we think about like Charlotte and Wilmington and Raleigh, those areas, Greensboro. The power's always shifting. You'll see one team on top for a number of years, then that will switch, and Cumberland County's no different. But yeah, I mean, I remember those Douglasburg, hearing about those Douglasburg teams back in the day. Who's that? Coach Paroli back when he was coaching Douglasburg. I mean, like I said, I feel like they all go through that time on top. Right now, it's 71st time. It's
Yeah.
71st time, and
I'm gonna tell you, growing up back then, my brother's playing before me. I mean, I'm not quite 40 yet, and I got brothers that are in their 50s. You know what I'm saying? So, growing up in Cumberland County in that Cape Fear district, I mean, the rivalries were always intense, and there were rivalries for a reason. It was because you knew you were going to go out there and have a dogfight. There were very few years, you might have one team that's lacking, but you wouldn't have 2 or 3 teams that's lacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might step out there and have a dogfight between, any school you stepped in front of, whether it was Cape Fear, Terry Setford, 71st, Douglasburg. I mean, any of those schools were liable to take your head off. I mean, there was a time when all those were anybody's ball game, It just I don't know, man, just a large area full of good talent. And
oh yeah.
It's always been that way. But now that these kids can kind of pick and choose what schools they go to, when you got a program that winds up on top and they stay there for a little while, you already know you start that trickle effect. Everybody's like, oh, okay, that's the place to be. And if you're good coaches and you know how to keep the culture right, and you know how to keep your morale of your team up and keep the animosity out of everything, and that's that's pretty much the definition of a good coach. It's more than just X's and O's. Like, you got to be able to police those teams, and you know what I'm saying? They got to be able to gel, and that starts with the coach. And when you can bring in talent after talent, and you can gel them into what you already got going on, make them buy in, make them believe, and not only themselves, but the man ahead of them or the man next to them. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? I mean, y'all just have to line up and play them. That's it.
Oh yeah, yo, you are 100% right, man. And we spoke him up, man. I got Magic. He's trying to. Once again, he's trying, man.
You can do it.
I'm telling you, man. I don't understand why it's giving him so much charge. I never had anybody else have an issue with it, man. But
Magic, copy the link, paste it in Google. Don't just click the link.
Let me text it to him.
Yeah, it can be confusing. I had a time with it. Brandon knows how to use it. Brandon Maynard, and he was trying to get on my show to talk about Union the other night. It wouldn't let him in. Coach Elliott said he couldn't get in either, so I ended up having to do regular Facebook Live, which doesn't like Brandon Maynard either. So we still were never able to get him. But
yeah, technology, man. We're us old guys. We're still learning, man. We do what we can. I know trust me. I know I've had tons of issues with this stuff. I'm still learning stuff up here.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got all fancy now. You be throwing these pictures up and everything.
That's thanks to my director of technical, my technical advisor. He's 9 years old, so he knows about all this stuff. I'm still learning.
Yeah, he was born with it in his hand. He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully we could get I would love for Magic to hop on with us, man. It's been a long time, and it was funny you was telling Coach Elliott the story, and this week was the anniversary of Magic's list, right?
Yeah,
it was this week. 1 year ago, where Magic Gomez sent the shot that was heard all around the world, especially in the Warsaw area.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
And that was the day when I said, "Oh Lord, I don't think I'm ever gonna post another list ever again, man." I ain't never. They was coming for us, boy.
Now we know how y'all feel about Santa Claus. Daggone.
Real, like
Lord. But yeah, man, that was, man. We had some fun times, man. I'll tell you, it's always fun to have
Austin,
Magic.
Austin Brinkley, he one of them. Austin, y'all were coming after us with the pitchforks and the torches, man. I was like, I don't know if we gonna make it through this, man. I was like, dang, I didn't think it was gonna be that. Like, bro, they was coming for us. They was coming for us.
I hired security that wasn't even my list.
I was like, look, all right, it's like, and I was like, sir, all I did was post it. Look, it's Magic's name is on it. I threw him right under the bus. I said, look, I want no smoke.
look, you sitting up there in the Sunshine State and still were like, nope.
Hell yeah, I said, man, they probably gonna send people down here to find me, man. I'm like, yo,
Man, I wish Magic could pop here right about now. That would be so good.
Magic, come on, bro, keep on trying, man. Because it's the anniversary. It is the anniversary, man. The most loved man in the Warsaw area, man.
You ain't lying.
That's what jump started the whole thing. I think we got like over 100 followers just from that one list because they just wanted to come up here just to talk trash to us.
Oh yeah, well, it was probably more than that. Good God! And the bad thing was it wasn't just that school. One at Wallace, it was Wallace, JK. Like man, they were all coming for us. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
I was like, "Who made this list? What kind of list?" Like, huh?
Hey, how do you even make this list without this name? I'm like, oh shoot! Like, look, what was bad for me is that same week that he made the list and everything went crazy. My daughter was a senior. She had a volleyball game at JK. And I was like, man, come on. I was like, I'm gonna pull up and get drug out my car. Like,
hold on. That's him right there. Yeah, he one of them. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, right. Man, too funny. But nah, that was the day I found out I was a James Keaton fan. Because once I introduced myself to the assistant principal, I mean, it was all love from there, man. Next thing you know, they had a parking spot at the gate for us. I mean, whatever we needed.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to James Keenan, man. They, like I said, good folks out that way, man. They love their Tigers. They love football, man. They're gonna fill up that stand. They don't know. Like I said, I would say Friday night is probably one of their easier games, but they still gonna be out there in numbers. So they travel well. So
yeah, but you're gonna put some respect on their name. And and if you make a list, you better get them to okay it first, because
oh man, real quick, I had some comments up here. SB said so he's hopping all the way, but the Union fans showed out at the Jamboree was nice. Yeah, that's why I said that's one of the things I like to see, man. You could tell, like I said, I wasn't there, but I was watching online, and as soon as Union took the field, man, you heard like the crowd going crazy, and it sounds like they got a lot of great support to see, which what they need, man. We talk about all the work that the kids and the coaches have done, on the field and behind the scenes and stuff, but it's still good to see the fans in the stands supporting those guys, man, because that's like I said, that's always big, man. One thing I always hated, man, you see a program struggling, they'll come to your stadium and you look across the way, you only see 6, 7 fans in the stands, so I mean it's already hard enough dealing with trying to rebuild a program and dealing with losses. But the fact that no one's coming out there to support you, that just that kind of just makes it even tougher. But shout out to Spartan Nation for really showing up for those kids, and make sure y'all in the stand Friday night, man. We're rocking that red and black and white or whatever else y'all just have your Spartan colors ready to go, man. And yeah, I would say it's just something I'm really liking to see, man. Really loving to see that. Let me see. Austin Brink said Magic's a good guy. Yes, sir. Hey, he's one of the best, man. Magic, like Brandon was saying, man, the guy, he wears a lot of hats, a lot of different hats, like literally and figuratively, man. He probably has one of the biggest fitted collections I ever seen in my life, bigger than mine. So, yeah, he's definitely a good guy, man. He does a lot for the kids around here, and yeah, definitely. Like I said, love the fact that he's out there making a difference on that coaching staff. Let me see. SB said Wallace Clinton, etc. Think they're tough. I know better to mess with them. Yeah, I learned that last season, man. I ain't messing with no James Keenan fans, man. Y'all, like I said, I had people's mamas and grandmoms, coming out.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm trying to be, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect nobody.
but you know what was awesome about that though, when all that was happening, that we had players that were on the list
uh,
hitting us up, going, "Man, you can't make a list without this name."
exactly.
Like,
And
and like,
I had
you
to
know what
reach,
I'm saying? Like,
like
he could
like
take
you
my
said,
spot.
I had
Like,
to reach out.
that's
I
what
had
I
to
knew
reach
who
out
we
to.
were dealing with.
I had to reach out to the young man. I was like, look, we don't mean no disrespect. Trust me, we don't mean no disrespect. I'm just, like I said, I heard about the kid. But like I say, I let Magic do his thing. That's his list. I'm not going, step on his toes. Like I had to tell the kid, man, there's no disrespect, man. And he's a baller, man. Looking forward to seeing what he does up there at Johnson C. He's up at Johnson C. Smith now,
Yep.
so definitely gonna be keeping up with him.
So,
But yeah,
anybody don't know
man,
who we talking about? That's Takis.
Tykese Wilson, man,
Yep.
he a baller, straight baller.
Bro, you know I just learned something new. He posted a video the other day. His mom was like a semi-pro flag football player.
Well, yeah.
Right.
I mean, the genes is there, man.
Right. I said, "What? Mama out there doing it."
That's
But
crazy.
he had her out there. It's on TikTok. You have to go check it out. But he had her out there running drills and stuff with him. Talking about, let's see if Mama still got it. Like, yeah.
Okay, I see what's up. Real quick, hey Austin, man, we're gonna get to the Edie Wallace talk in a minute, man. Like I said, I was hoping Anthony could hop on with us because I ain't want to talk about Hopton and Midway without him, but like I said, just from a time standpoint, we're gonna keep it moving. But real quick before we get to that one, we'll talk about this next game once again. South Carolina, man. Like I said, shout out to Anthony Berry, man. Wish he was here, brother, but I understand. But he have the more insights on this than I do. But Marlboro County's taking on Lake Marion down there in South Carolina. Like I said, I don't know much about Lake Marion, but I know about Marlboro County, and I know about Corey Johnson and that staff he got down there, and some of them kids I got to really cover in the off season, spotlight in the off season. A lot of talent coming back for Corey Johnson and company. They're gonna be a really solid team down there in that region, and not to cut it short, but I feel like my bad, I'm laughing at one of the comments I just read. But, I feel like they're going to be a really good team this year, and they shouldn't have any issues for a Friday night, man. I think it's going to be business as usual. I know the impact Corey Johnson can have in his second season. I know he gets his first full off season with the team. They're going to be young in some spots, but definitely a lot of experience returning to some other, and particularly that defensive line is going to be extremely talented. The linebacker group is going to be really seasoned, very athletic. The offensive line, from what I saw in the scrimmages, they're going to move some people around. So don't, so sometimes don't. If you're a Marlboro County fan and you see them being run heavy, it's a reason behind that, because that offensive line is huge and they move some folks. So that's one thing I'm expecting to see from them this season. But as far as this game goes, man, I got Marlboro County taking this W. Sorry, I can't go more in depth about their opponent. Like I said, I'm just not really up on the South Carolina teams like that. Hopefully, man, we get our guy Anthony Berry back soon, and he could expand a little bit more as far as their opponents go. But I'll take Marlboro County in this one.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I didn't pick against them last season. We knew a lot more about what they were working with last season. Sorry, y'all. My dog sees everybody about to head out the door. He wants to go too. Um, but so yeah, it's just, man. Let me go in another room. uh, so I mean, we knew what they had last season. We knew what they were working with. We knew the coaches. We know the style. We know the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? We know the mission. So only thing's changed is some of the kids that he had playing for. Same coaching staff, same mission, and now they're coming out with a chip on their shoulder after what they went through last year. Um, So I already know No's been to the grindstone, and these coaches have pushed themselves probably as much as they push these kids. So there's no way, unless I had to draw out of a hat and I didn't know who I was getting, that I'm not picking Marlboro County.
10-4, I got you. Hey, yo, man, shout out to SB. SB been dropping some gems tonight, man. He coming in Anthony, man. He said Goodman lack. He said he gonna smack him on Friday. Oh man.
Hey, better be careful. He might put you in the paper.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. I think he's about to hop on. He just texted me, but Kelvin Stevens said he said he had a good friend. Her husband graduated from James Keenan. He said he gave her a hopping hoodie. She wore it from. He said he liked to have them fit.
Ooh.
But real quick, man, we got the man, the myth, the legend up here, Mr. Anthony Goodman. He finally joined us. Hey, man, you got your guy up here coming for you, man.
Oh, I know BB ain't coming for me.
No, right here. Look, read the comment. Read the comment.
Goodman lacking. I'll smack him on Friday. Who is this? Hey man, I be working. I don't know if people don't realize this, but I work for the paper, man. We work at media, man.
Hey, I was trying to tell him. I was trying to explain it to him, man. I said, look, he gonna hop up here when he get a chance.
SB, who is that?
I don't know, man.
We gotta do some homework.
If somebody tries to smack you on Friday, then you'll know.
We'll know.
Yeah. He said you'll find out on Friday.
We'll know.
Oh man!
I told him be careful though. You might put him in the paper. I mean,
you better believe it. Big pass to the front page.
Hey, if y'all need them, I'll make T-shirts.
make somebody famous.
Hey man, appreciate you joining us this evening, man. We ran down a couple of games so far, man. We'll give you a chance to get your picks in, but I want to hold off on the Hopton Midway game until you got up here, man. Because I know that's that's your boys out there in Noon Grove, so I ain't want to leave you out of the discussion.
Well, look, I went to Midway too, man. So I mean, I kind of have to shadow that game a little bit.
That's why I said I ain't want to talk about that game without you, because I know you got ties on both sides of it. So we'll go ahead and jump on that one now. Like I said, big time Sansom County rivalry game, man. A lot of history between these teams. A lot of not so much love, but a lot more of that, a lot more hate. Wildcats, Raiders. This gonna be a big one, man. I know it's getting kind of overshadowed by another Sansom County game that we'll be talking about in a little bit, but still, for that area, man, big time rivalry. Newton Grove, Spivey's Corner, a lot of history between these two teams. I feel like, man, this one's gonna be like I said, this is gonna be one of the more underrated games of the night. Like I said, a lot of the eyes in the county gonna be elsewhere, but this one's gonna be good, man. I talked about it last week, man. I really like what I've seen out of Hopton in this new regime, and in such a, I guess the most impressive thing is how quickly you're seeing the results. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, what Coach Strauss has been there. What 2 months? He's had maybe 2 months to work, if that, to work with the team. So the fact that we're seeing, what we've seen so far is extremely impressive. Of course, I know last week at the Jamboree, they were taking on what looks like it's going to be a pretty down Lejeune team. But I'll go back to the week before when they, mixed it up with CBA Cock, East Duplin, and Whiteville. Like I said, it looked like a team that, doesn't look like they just switched, their whole offensive system around recently. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things that they talked about, the coaches talking about, is how the kids have really, bought into the changes, bought into, the system. A lot. You see a lot of selfishness. We got, you got a 3,000-yard, quarterback that says, okay, I'll take a back seat and I'll play, in the defensive backfield. you got a 1,000-yard wide receiver that said, okay, I'll give up, being this big play, wide receiver, you know, and I'll run the offense, I'll be the quarterback.
And
You got a
usually
lot of
that's
kids that were,
backwards. Usually the quarterback go to receiver.
yeah, and you got a lot of those kids that play wide receiver that are playing, different positions, running back, and a lot of kids are playing both ways now, which we'll
Yep.
talk about. One of the things I really like about, some of the changes that they made. And like I said, it hasn't been that long. You know what? If I don't even know if it's been a full 2 months, you know what I'm saying? Because he
Because they had
came
the
on,
dead period too.
he came on pretty late. And for them to, make the jump that I've seen, that's really impressive. So, I mean, it's scary to think about. If you're a Hopkins fan, you should be really excited about not just, this season, but the future, man. Wait till this guy gets an entire offseason with these kids. You know what I'm saying? The growth and, that you can see from this group. But just flopping over to the other side real quick, Midway, like I said, I saw a lot of explosiveness from their offense last week. They got size, they got a lot of size. They got some athletes on the offensive side of the ball that can really, hurt you and make some plays from take some stuff to the house. You see, Tanner Williams was out there making some good throws. His receivers get a little crease, they're gonna take it to the house. I guess my issue with them was, as far as defensively goes, they really didn't do a good job defending the run against Triton. Um, yeah, you really saw them struggle mightily against that. So as far as this game goes, I feel like Hopkins has really, really caught up to them. As far as there was a gap between them last season, and I feel like they really shortened that gap. I feel like this is going to be a very competitive game, and I'm gonna go against the grain, and I feel like I'm liking Hopkins in the what I guess some would consider an upset Friday night. I feel like it's going to be a very competitive game. I feel like it's going to be close. Um, it's going to come down to which team makes the least mistakes and which defense is going to bow their neck first, because like I said, in the past, we always looked at Hopkins' defense as a weakness, but I like what I saw against, so far this season. They're going to get tested this week. Like I said, Midway has a lot of explosive playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, but I'm liking Hopkins' confidence. I'm liking that new look, and Reggie Thompson's going to be the best athlete on the field, man, and as long as Hopkins, does what they're, don't make too many mistakes, I feel like they could come out on top. So I'm gonna take Hopkins in this one.
You said it would be considered an upset if Hopkins won. I want everybody to know right now I wouldn't be upset at all. Um, no, just from what we know, Chris, not what not as much of what we saw, but from what we know about the two programs, what they've been through, this, last few years. We know in all reality, Midway should walk away with this with ease. Um, I don't feel like that's going to happen. I will say I don't know enough. I don't think I've seen enough defensively of Hopkins just based off the school that they faced. I don't know that I've seen enough defensively to make like a definitive decision that Hopkins takes this. Because I will say Midway does have a show of force.
Yeah, they're explosive. They're explosive.
They got that kid. His last name's Tu. I'm sorry, I forget his first name.
Wesley too.
Wesley. There you go. I mean, that's a unit to be running the ball.
Oh yeah,
That's a unit to be running the ball. I mean, that's a big kid. And they got more size where that came from. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got plenty of size on the line. I mean, they got some big boys, and they're not just big. They're not big softies. They're strong. Those guys are strong. I mean, I see some holes. I see some fixes that need to be made for sure. I mean, they got exploited a little bit there, and They ended up being tied up, and they snatched them. They snatched it away from them right at the end of the jamboree. And I feel like Hopton faced that. I feel like if it was Hopton and Triton, I feel like it would be close. I feel like that would be close based off of what I see. Like I said, it's hard to judge based off watching the Lejeune game.
Yeah.
But on paper, knowing what we know, knowing the history over the last few months and the last year, Midway is supposed to win this. But I made a vow a long time ago that I wouldn't never pick them for a win. So Hopton.
And real quick before Anthony, because I know Anthony got a lot to say. Real
I had
quick,
to go get my tea, man.
real quick. Lonte made a like you saying, Brandon. On paper, Midway's supposed to win, and Midway has pretty much dominated this match. And Lonte commented that they won 12 of the last 13. So, I mean, yeah, Midway's pretty much dominated this. That's why I pretty much said, if Hopton were to pull this out, it would be an upset. But I know Anthony's about to go in. But real quick, like I said, I do have to piggyback off some of the stuff you were saying, man. Midway's got some size. They're explosive, and I got to give a shout out to Big John Williams, man. Kid basically broke his leg at the end of last season, and it's good to see him back out there, big number 75. You'll see him Friday night. You can't miss him. But like I said, that midway teams, they're like I said, they're going to be good, and I'm sure Coach Sloan saw the issues that they faced Friday night, and I'm pretty sure that's been a point of emphasis this week, especially going against a wing T team. But I'm ready to hear what Anthony got to say, man. So Anthony, go ahead and take it away, man.
All right, let's go ahead and state the obvious here. Yes, Midway has won 12 of the 13. All right. Out of those 13, though, the last 4, with the exception of maybe last year, have all been real highly contested games. They could have went either way, with just the changing of the wind. The size thing with Midway, yeah, they got 2 300-pound boys, 6'4", 6'3", like you said, Big John, Cash Jackson, Connor Jackson. They got size. Gainey, big boy. He's not very tall, but he big. One thing to be big, but is you mentally big though. I don't know if y'all peeped this at the Jamboree, but I read body language a lot. Like as a coach, body language will tell you everything. Recruits will tell you body language is everything. Even I can see body language from Holland at times. Number 19. Just sometimes when things ain't going your way, how mentally fortified are you going to stay in those situations? Like you say, the analogy about the fast car, it ain't no good if you can't get out of the garage. But what good is the tank if the tank ain't got no gas, no ammo? You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on in this matchup. But on the flip side, regarding Hopkins' side, one thing that they do kind of have is an element of surprise. Sloan was familiar with Salas' playbook and play calling style. He had played him multiple times at Lakewood, and he had already kind of knew, what to expect coming out of Salas going into that matchup last year. Matter of fact, Salas, I shy to say that almost took him under his wing as an apprentice. They'll go golfing together and lunch together, phone calls together. I mean, I understand, that's not everything's a competition or whatnot, but, Sloan knew what to go into last year because he knows Salas's tendencies in play calling. You're dealing with a whole new book right here. You're dealing with a whole new book. You can't go on Huddle and see what was ran last year and thinking that you can run film on what's about to happen this year. All right. You can't really go off of things that happened on the Jamboree and what things that happened against Whiteville and Acock and stuff. That element of surprise could suit Hopton very, very well. A big notice that I had from the Jamboree, and again, like I say, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But I also saw this when they had their scrimmages. These jokers were actually hitting.
Oh yeah.
for once in their life. I saw little Amir Tate, who ain't so little no more. He growing up a little bit, but little point guard. Amir Tate laying a boomstick. Javon McMillan in the box right next to Jason Johnson, acting like some savage dogs, getting into that backfield. That D line swarming to the ball. It ain't just one guy and they let it go. Them jokers are actually swarming to the ball. That type of stuff can defeat speed, especially when everybody's staying in their lanes and staying contained like they're supposed to, not chasing the ball, aiming for the right hip and all that stuff. That stuff can counterpunch speed. So is it going to be a dogfight? Most definitely. But I think it's a matter of will, and it's going to definitely come to calling. It's going to come to game plan, making sure the right guys are in the right spots at the right moments. Hopton for the win.
Oh, okay. That's what I was waiting. That's what I was waiting on. I was like, oh, who's he picking? Got you, bro.
Just out of curiosity, Anthony, how'd your other scrimmages go for you guys? Y'all look good?
For the most part, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the main thing that I was worried about is, Reggie and handoffs and whatnot. That's not
Right.
something that he had a extreme amount of practice or a extreme amount of time to practice it. And then
Yeah.
even during some of those scrimmages, you got a kid sweeping the wrong way when he should have been going this way. Some counters didn't get executed quite right. But that was a few weeks ago, and I could tell that the work has been put in. Even at the Jamboree, I could see a couple of mistakes were still made. It wasn't
Mhm.
noticeable to the public because they made, chicken salad out of chicken. We ain't gonna
Yeah.
do that. But I think that they've had enough time to fine tune things, but it's gonna be kind of like wine, get better with time. Um, these non-conference games right here at the beginning is just kind of a litmus test to see where they're standing at. But by the time conference play get here towards the end of the year, this should be a smooth running machine. The playbook
Right.
isn't complex. It's not that they ain't got to bring out. Hold on. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, bring out the sleeve and
Yeah.
color coding and all that. You know what I mean? They still got sleeves, but it's a more player friendly playbook. It looks like, man, and everybody knows their job. Everybody knows their role. And then I know you were saying you want to mention it earlier. I'm gonna mention it now. Seeing some of them boys that are playing two ways that are about that life, like J Mac running the ball and playing safety.
Mhm.
You got J5, Javante running the ball too, but also playing safety at times. Um, those things. Why limit your talent? Steven
Exactly.
Landry on D line. Why limit your talent? We're trying to preserve everybody, make sure everybody has seven. That's why we condition. And when I say this is the last week's episode, those guys are actually conditioning. It's different now. I hate when a coach say, "Oh, we'll do our conditioning in drills, and we're just going to run a lot in drills. That'll be our conditioning." That's not conditioning. That's just doing drills. When you actually work on cardio, you can get so much more productivity out of your players, man. And the
Yes,
proof's
The
sir.
in the
only
Yes,
way
pudding.
sir.
the only way that scenario really works, or you're getting a lot of conditioning and you're running drills, is if your squad is broke up.
Right.
I mean, extremely broke up. Like, for instance, the guys did a lot of conditioning when Hope was here last year. He's a D1 college coach. Of course they did. You know what I'm saying? But their drills, they were broke up for a majority of the practice.
Yeah, not
Everything
just
was
15 minutes at a time.
right. Like, they come together at the end and play as a unit and see who corrected whatever it is that they were working on, who got the skill that they were enforcing. But their teams were broke up and they were constantly working. And a lot of times those stations were interchangeable. So everything ran on a horn, on a timer. Somebody sitting over there watching a timer. When that timer hit however many minutes, they grab a water and headed to the next station. There was no standing around. You didn't have 45 kids standing in a line waiting on 3 to go at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you got eight or 10 over here and 3 lines of 4 going, 3 lines, 3 going at a time. I mean, you can get some conditioning there while you're doing drills, but you got to have the ability and the coaching staff and be able to trust your coaching staff enough that you can break down and run it like that. But you still, like you said, there's a lot of up and down on that football field.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a long run. It might be a whole bunch of little short runs. You might come off the field, from defense where you was out there, on pass coverage, the whole time. You might come off the field and offense take over and turn over first play, and you going right back.
Back.
So that's the
Right back.
thing. It's like you got to be ready. You got to be ready for that. I mean, them kids need to be, running sprints. They need to, and they need to be running the distance. They need to be 100 yards. They need to do the suicides. They need to get used to having to tune back in when they thought they were going to catch a break. And that's
Right.
what stuff like that does. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm really really big on conditioning and development. I'm glad to hear that your program's going that route. Um, Man, I'm genuinely happy for y'all. I really, really hope y'all get the win. The reason for my question was I know that you was touching a lot on, can those guys, keep their mental right? You're watching their body language and reading them and stuff. That's why I was asking about your other scrimmages, because I was just wondering like how much pressure have you guys had on them so far? I didn't know if you guys had a real tough scrimmage, or is everything been kind of moderate with you guys, or
No,
um
they've had some tests now. They've had some
Like I said,
tests.
good.
that's what I know. Like I said, I know people focus on that playing that down Lejeune team, but like I said, the week before they were going toe for toe with East Duplin, Whiteville, CBA Cock. So that's a pretty good
Oh yeah.
group group to
Oh yeah. So if your guys were
so they
able to
got so they
maintain under that kind of pressure, like especially seeing a Wobble team,
wow.
yeah, Wobble. Sorry. Um, I mean, if you could look at your guys and say, hey, these guys are sound, even getting pounded on. Hey, this is gonna be a
That's
fun game.
that's why you set those up, because iron sharpen iron, man. You don't get
That's right.
no progression beating up on schools that you're supposed to beat. During that
That's right.
offseason, you're supposed to be playing up to the competition. You're supposed to be playing harder competition. So then when you get towards conference, it feels like it's another day in the office.
Hey,
Now,
they're all right.
I
Hey,
got to spill a little tea with no name. Some people in that blue jersey ain't happy.
Uh-oh.
I heard this recently. I heard
mm,
this
I,
recently.
I've
And
heard
I
I've
don't
heard
think
the
you even
same
need
too.
that many guesses. I don't think you need that many guesses because he's been kind of vocal about it. So I'm hoping that the young man, lock in, and I mean it's his senior year. I hope he just lock in and do what's right for himself, man. I hope he's locked in, bro. I'm
Yo,
wishing
we
the
gotta
day.
find out. Hey, yo, we gotta find out who SB is.
Oh, I know who it is. He's at the middle school. He at the middle school. I know
Yo,
who
he
it is.
dropping. Yo, he dropping some gems up here, but like real quick. Let me. But his first comment, but Iron Man football or is what 1A. Well, they're 2A now, but it's basically the old 1A is, and that's what me and we talked about before. For years, one of the Achilles heel at Hopton was the defense, and because like I said, you had a lot of the best athletes, only
Rush
playing
defense,
offense,
to be more specific. Rush defense.
and you pretty much was only going, guys going one way. In a school that size, normally your best guys got to go both ways. You
Mhm.
know, you want your best 11 on the field, and that 8A, 7A, 6A schools can get away with that type of stuff. Small rural schools, you gotta play Iron Man football. So I definitely agree with him on that one, man. That's one of the things that I like that the new coaching staff, is implementing. They're running their best guys both ways.
Coach Stevens said, hopped in by 17. I see you, Coach.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't like I said I don't want to ignore any of the comments. Let me run through some of these comments real quick because we got a couple of gems over here. Like I said, Coach Stevens here. Austin Brinley pointed out he thinks Scrons is a great coach, and from based off what I've seen so far, I agree. Like I said, you got a guy coming from a championship caliber program, and he's bringing that championship mentality, and the kids are bought in. And like I said, I liked everything I've seen so far, so definitely shout out to him. Coach
There's
Stevens
this
said
guy
he's
that
putting
says
in.
that we ain't won since 2011, 2012. That's false. We won in 2022.
I think he was saying at home. I think he was saying at home they haven't won. I don't know if
Oh,
that
okay. You're saying Hopton hasn't beat them at Hopton. Okay, I got you.
yeah. Coach Stevens, like you say he's in the middle school, which is great. That's great, man. You want to? I like it when the middle school coaches and the high school coaches are all on one accord. You know, they're already teaching that wing T, so when they get to the high school, you know, you're not really teaching a whole new offense. They just roll right into it. So shout out to Coach Stevens, man. And Hopton, we talked about the kid, man. Hopton's got a really good running back. A really good running back. I'm ready. I'm ready to see him at the high school level. But I thought he was going to the ninth grade this year. But he turns out he was only in seventh grade last year. I'm like, wow. So he's gonna be special, man. Real quick, running through some more comments. Shout out to Sam Henry. He looked like a 71st guy. Said he's late. He had to rewind, but he said that's the best. He heard anyone speak on 71st. Much appreciated. Hey, they appreciate you for listening in, Sam and Sean, and looking forward to really covering 71st this season. Got Ryan Sutherland saying checking in, East Duplin radio broadcast team checking in. We're about to get into that game right now, Ryan. Let's see what else we got here. Lante said new coach and new scheme. It just keep that offense on the field, ball control. Yes, sir. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got
Let's just hope
midway.
we don't have 3 touchdowns get called back on the first drive. Good. I mean, and it was a phantom calls, bro. Play all the way down the field on the right.
You
got some on the left side.
hate when you see it on the total opposite side of the field. Had no real effect on the play. I mean, come on, ref, you keep the flag in your pocket on that one. Dale Naylor said if Midway relies on the pass and can't run the ball, they got a good QB, some fast receivers. Time will tell. Yes, sir. I agree. And he also said he said they're gonna have to run the ball more, which I agree. I mean, you got Blue back there, you got two back there. You know, you got some great athletes. Big line, let them run a little ball, lean on them a little bit. He said never sleep on Midway. Trust me, definitely not sleeping.
Ain't nobody sleeping.
No one's sleeping on them. But like I said, I know for me personally, I like what I've seen so far out of Hopton, and of course that's SB already. The SB said he said Midway's the real wife.
Man, that man a troll, man.
Hey, we gotta find out
exactly who it is.
We gotta find. Hey, look, man. We might.
He'll teach you at the middle school.
Man, we might have to bring him on the show, man.
Yeah, we gotta get him.
We might have to get him. We gotta get him and Magic on at the same time, man. It's
God,
right there, man. All right, real quick. I know I saw on Instagram, man. We had some people asking about Wallace and East Duplin. We're about to get in that game right now. That is one of our Buck Sweet Sports games of the week. So we'll go ahead and hop on it. Big time Duplin County rivalry. Man, this was a tough one. This was a tough one to pick. I know me personally, I was checking out some of the history, man. A very underrated rivalry, man. For the last decade, this game's been decided by one score or less. You know, on each game, you have to go all the way back. You have to go back to I think 2015 and 2016, and that was just a 10-point game. You know, so they've been going. This is a very competitive matchup. Like I said, Duplin County. They calling it the River Classic, man. Shout out to like I said, Ryan Sutherland. He's been a long time supporter of the show. Him and Gino Kennedy, they run that East Duplin radio broadcast. They'll be doing the play-by-play from Wallace Friday night. So if you're an East Duplin or Wallace fan and you can't make it to the game, or anybody just wants to check in the game, definitely check in with them. They do an awesome job. But this is going to be a good game, man. A hell of a way to start the season for both teams. Like I said, they're not in the same conference anymore, but this game definitely is. It's bragging rights, man. I see a game like this being one up front, man. whoever controls the line of scrimmage is going to win this game. Whoever makes the least mistakes is going to win this game. Whoever controls the field position is going to win this game. Um, like I said, I don't see it. I don't see it being any different than it's been the last 9 or 10 times. I see a 1-score game, and I'm like I said, I talked big about them this season, this off season, and I know some express some concerns about line play, but I'm liking East Duplin in this matchup. Um, like I said, I feel like you could toss a coin, and it's a 50-50 type of deal, man. Both these teams will be studs in their respective classifications, but as far as this game goes, man, I'm gonna roll with East Duplin on this one. And if I had to give a score prediction, I don't see it being no more than a 6-point game, man. Something like 24-18, 10-13, something like that. It's gonna be low scoring. It's gonna be gritty. I understand Wallace is experimenting with some different things on offense as far as passing the ball goes, but this game is still gonna be won at the line of scrimmage. It's gonna be 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Mano y mano, head to head on that line in the fourth quarter. Who wants it more? But I'm gonna roll for East Duplin on this one.
We gotta disagree at some point, man. We can't keep going for the same team, man.
Okay.
I'm definitely going with East Duplin on this one, and I fully concur with the sentiment that this game will be in the trenches. Whoever controls them trenches is the one that controls this game. SB had put a comment up here, and I fully agree with that as well. If they get up by multiple scores, you go ahead and put a snooze button on them because they're going to run that clock up. They know how to nickel and dime that ball and get three yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, first down, 3 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, first down. They've been doing that for a minute. Now if Wallace puts up a brick wall, it can get them off the field, and they keep their experimenting stuff with them, trying to air it out a little bit. I do see the tides changing a little bit, but if East Duplin been controlling them trenches like they've been, this is gonna be a long one, and it ain't gonna be very high scoring. I got it at least 24-18.
Well, I guess that leaves me. Um, I seen Wallace in action. We scrimmaged them. Um, you know, of course they were doing their thing. We kept it extremely vanilla. And we did very well against them. Especially when it came down to playing full field. They do have the ability to throw that ball. They do have the ability to let that thing go and get it down the field for sure. Now, I think what a lot of what we saw with Wallace was them working on some things they were trying to implement. We saw some double handoffs with fake, we saw some handoffs in the backfield, and you got, you know, uh, a running back or whatever throwing the pass. We've seen the quarterback let one, fly a good 40 plus yards down the field several times. I think those are some things that they're working on implementing. I don't think by no means they came out there and dug in and showed us their offense. You know what I'm saying? I think they were like, let's just use this to see if we can actually make these things work in real life. What I will say about Wallace is, as per usual, super talented squad. I mean, a great program. Yes, there's been some changes. Some things have changed up over there, which I'm not gonna say it's unfortunate because we don't know yet. But I will say I think they're gonna have their hands full with ED. Um, from what I've heard and seen and what I've talked to Ryan and them about, uh, I think they're putting it together, man. And I mean, they got multiple threats as well. They're not no one trick pony team. Um, I think it's gonna. I think what'll decide this game. I think it'll be decided very early, most likely, and it's going to be who comes out ready to play football. I think if one of the other squads steps out on that field lacking, I think it's going to be really hard to recover. Because the one thing that I noticed about Wallace is they are very deceptive. They have a lot of motion in the backfield. Whether whether the ball's going to be thrown or whether they're running it, from what we saw, they've got a lot of motion all the time. A lot of times they're set up in like a double wing type scenario. I mean, but with a lot of transition, I mean, it's almost like they set up a double wing and transition into like a pro style offense. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's really confusing. It's really deceptive. They conceal the ball very, very well. So if you've got some mature guys up front that can really watch and find the ball, you're going to be okay. But if you got immaturity up front, you got young guys up front that have trouble finding the ball already, they're going to stretch the field out on you. They have the capability. They got some size and some speed in the back. They don't have what they had last year, but they still got some size and some speed in the back. A very, very capable team. Just based off what I saw and what I know from talking to other people in the community, I feel like ED stands a really good chance of taking this one. I'm gonna say if ED wins this, that it's gonna be the first time in a decade that it's gonna be more than a score, more than a touchdown.
Okay. Okay. Bold predictions. I like it. All right, just run through the comments here real quick. Like you said, Lante said, they heard that Wallace got some offensive linemen banged up. That could play a big factor. Luke Wells, who I'm assuming is related to starting quarterback for Wallace, Matthew Wells, said they only ran the same 3 plays in the scrimmage, didn't really show everything, which is pretty normal for scrimmage. They're going to be pretty vanilla. So, and Ryan Sutherland said, "Hey, we didn't show everything in our script, anything in our show all our stuff in our scrimmages either." So we'll see. Kelvin Stevens said Wallace by 10. Okay. So like I said, man, Duplin County Civil War going on right there, man. That's gonna be a big time game. Definitely, like I said, if you can't make it to the game, check in with Ryan Sutherland and his crew, man. They're gonna be doing the play by play, and that's gonna be a good one, man. Definitely gonna be a fun one.
I want to point something out real quick, Chris, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I know. When we do these scrimmages and stuff, most of these teams are not reaching in the bag. They've already decided what couple of plays they don't care about showing off that they're going to run, or they're out there practicing something they're hoping to implement in real life, like what I was talking about. I was looking at with Wallace. But no matter how many plays you run, or you're still playing football.
Yeah.
And you can look across the field at kids playing football and tell a whole lot. I mean, a play don't change how hard, the type of play don't change how hard a kid plays. It don't change if they're on time or their timing's off. It don't change if they're in pursuit of the ball or they're standing watching somebody else do it. Like, none of that changes no matter what the play is. Like, you can look across the football field and watch 2 teams. They can pick 2 plays and run the same 2 plays against each other all night, and you can still tell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who's showing up to play football and who's done being there. I mean, it doesn't matter about digging into the bag and all that. You can still make a pretty good prediction based off of scrimmage, based off, like Anthony was saying earlier, watching kids' body language. Are they hanging their head? Are they throwing a fit on the sideline? Are they turning around with their hands on their hips, staring down the field while somebody else does the work? Or are they in pursuit? There's a lot of things that's going to tell you what team's fixing to show up and what team's not. So just because we ain't running a whole lot of plays or showing what we got in the bag doesn't mean we didn't show up to play football. And if you showed up to a scrimmage not to play, well, then I know enough about you.
Man, Pender scored 100 points only running 4 plays. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Oh man, PTSD for our hopping fans, man.
Wow.
Real quick, hey, I guess hey, Luke Wells said that information Lante was talking about is outdated. He said offensive line. He said all the offensive line is back. So I'm gonna trust the quarterback's relative on that one. as you say, he likes ED2, but it's scary picking it. Yeah, it is, man. Like you said, that's one of those teams. Like, damn, do you really want to pick against Wallace? That's a tough one, man. Hey, I like this comment here. Ryan said, "Hey, Buck Sweet 60% of the time." Yes, sir. Buck Sweet 60% of the time. Hey, all good, man. Hey, so if there's no more comments on East Duplin versus Wallace, we bring us to our nightcap. Big time Sampson County game, rivalry game. 42 years in the making. Last time this game was played, 1982. We got Clinton taking on Clinton Dark Horse taking on the Lakewood Leopards. I'm gonna let you guys take it to start with because I feel like I'm gonna be a little.
Because I ain't got no dog in this fight. I know we got
go ahead,
right here.
man.
We got Mr. Clinton right here. I ain't got no dog in the fight. You know, I'm just excited to see some pass game pop. I think it's gonna be get your popcorn ready. The same kind of notion that people was talking about. Oh well, Hopkins didn't play nobody but Lejeune. Clinton played a very tough JK. So I mean, how much are we taking the the strength of schedule or strength of opponent into consideration? And then looking at who Lakewood played, I mean, it looked a little child's play out there. But in all fairness, though, I'm tired of hearing this notion. I've heard it all week. Well, it's our quarterback. Our quarterback didn't play. The quarterback won't there. We ain't got a new guy.
Ooh, buddy. Hey,
tired of hearing that sentiment, bro. If your team is built around one player, and that's gonna make or break your team, then you need to be taking a little look in the mirror, bro. You need to be looking in the mirror. And then if your backup can't run the same type of style as your starter can do, wouldn't you adjust a little bit to make it comfortable to the backup? Like I've seen multiple teams do that. If your scrambling quarterback goes down and all you have is a pocket passer to the backup, are you going to run the same scrambling plays and rollouts for the guy that has no mobility? No, but think that you would adjust to the cards that are dealt. Them boys got some talent over there, man. I didn't like the body language that was on display at the Jamboree, and I think that's a fixable thing. And I've been hearing people talk about culture, man. That right there, that comes from the top down, and that's some in-house that they will have to fix. But when them lights come on, man, if you don't feel something in your veins to make you put it all on the field, you in the wrong sport. You shouldn't be out there. But me personally, I don't want because I just left the Clinton City Schools Board of Education meeting, so I don't want this to look crazy. Hey, look, they done gave me some gifts and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They up here, they done gave me some gifts. I'm going Lakewood on this one, man. I'm going Lakewood on this one, bro. Just because of the discipline I seen, the continuity. Reed looked confident. Reed only a sophomore, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is his second year at he looked real confident, and I like him was being a vocal leader on defense. I like Devin Jones a lot. He's a good kid. He's almost a counterpoint to Jalen. Jalen is a great kid for Clinton at Mike linebacker, and you need a strong leader like that playing Mike. I think the battle of the Mikes, those two guys are going to really step up and lead their teams defensively, but offense, if they're dependent on the new kid and he is not there, I really don't want to hear that, man. I want to see you guys show up and rise to the cage. It's supposed to be next man up whenever somebody go down. And I heard a lot at the Jamboree, or they're resting him. They don't want to, risk a further injury. And that very well might be true. And people are just deflecting. But Reed got some confidence in him right now. And Reed has a lot of continuity with them boys that's on that team. That just makes me more comfortable going with Lakewood in this matchup.
We appreciate that. I know Chris wants me to go before him, and that's a little unorthodox. But I understand. But I want to I'll touch on a little bit about what you were saying um about the body language and stuff. Listen, man, like I'm be straight up. I was at the Jamboree from the beginning to the end. I showed up to see Union. I was there for my Leopards, and I stayed through to see what we were working with. Listen, when Clinton came out, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was intimidating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was an energy that you could feel. Them boys looked the part. I mean, big boys. They got some big boys on Clinton. I was watching them come out, and they were dapping up fans on the side. They were, jumping, hitting each other. I mean, it was everything you would expect. Just straight football energy on the side. And I said, "Uh-oh." I'm a JK guy. I love JK. Y'all heard me say earlier, don't ask me to pick against them. I mean, unless I had to draw a name out of a hat and I didn't pull them, that's the only way they would get picked against. I will not knowingly pick against JK. So that being said, I got nervous. When they lined up, I said, "Uh-oh." And then about the first drive and a half, I mean, first drive looked good. I mean, we didn't no score on the play. Other team takes over the ball, no score on the play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we playing some lockdown football out there. I was like, oh, this is about to be a battle all night. The minute JK broke loose, it just sunk. And honestly, man, like I'm not from Clinton. I grew up East Fayetteville. My son's a Leopard, but everybody knows Clinton. Everybody knows the history. Everybody knows Clinton's football around here. I mean, everybody knows that. And I don't want to see y'all get complacent thinking just because Clinton Dark Horse is being, at that pinnacle, they've been right up there at the top for so long. Like they've been the staple of what football looks like around here for a minute. So don't think you don't just get to ride that. Eventually that runs out. You got to have the mental toughness. You got to have the stick-to-itiveness to just, keep fighting no matter what. I don't care if you're down by 14, down by 28. There's still football to play. And I will say, like, that was the only downfall for me was I just felt like we won't really playing football. There were still a few of those guys out there, like Jaden, for instance, like they're still giving him what he had. You know how hard that is to do when everybody's falling apart around you?
It takes a mental fortitude for sure.
I mean, that would be like me come on here to talk about all these schools and me only really knowing something about a handful of them, and Chris and Anthony going silent on me. I'll be sitting here, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. This ain't my bag. You know what I'm saying? But that's the same thing. Them guys out there on that football field, they went with their brothers in the battle. But they expected their brothers to have them to the very end. And then when you look around and there's only 3 or 4 when there's supposed to be 11, I mean, that field gets real big real quick. I mean, and that's my only thing. Like I'm not knocking nobody. I'm not taking a shot at a program. I'm telling you what I saw was a team that has the capability. What I seen is a team that demands attention. They come out with a commanding presence. And I know the skill and the talent's there. I mean, you can see it. It's the mental part.
Right.
Now, that being said, y'all coming to Roseburg to see us on Friday. And I'm gonna tell you right now, what coach say the other night? What did he say? About 30 of them, 40 of them is, sophomores. I mean, we got a young team, but these guys got heart. They love football. They're out there for each other. Where a lot of these schools, their numbers are up this year. Our numbers are a little down this year. We got less guys. Yes, we do have a JV and a varsity, Well, we got way fewer guys than we had last year. You know, and I look at it like this. I hate to see a program down. I hate to see a numbers down in any program. I want to see anybody that's got a passion for football participating in football. I mean, that's what I love. I want to see it. I want to see if we got a jersey, I want a body in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just me. But I mean, I said the thing about the low numbers is at least we know we got the guys that want it. You know? I mean, that's the only way to look at it. At least we know we got the guys that really want it. Listen, our Leopards have been just short. You know, I think the second or third round last year, or the year before last, fourth round last year. I mean, these guys are hard pressed. They want more. They're tired of getting so close, but never getting a cigar. I mean, from what I've seen so far, even against Wallace, we scrimmaged Wallace, we came out, they hit us in the mouth. Very first play, touchdown pass. Know what I'm saying? Like, they hit us in the mouth early. Last year when that happened, it took us a little while to recover. They almost scored 3 times back to back on us. You know, I mean, there was very few plays before they were scoring again. About 3 scores in a row before those guys finally were like, "Holy crap! Like, we're here to play football, and that's what we got to do." And they started doing better. And by the end, when we went full field, we were holding our own pretty well. This year, it wasn't like that. We showed up, we got hit in the mouth out the gate, and our guys looked around at each other and were like, no, that ain't no more. Like, and they buckled in and they started playing ball. I was super impressed. I was super impressed by that. You know, your first trial, your scrimmage game, you get hit in the mouth very first play, and you're able to look around at your guys and say, no, we got to strap up. Like, we here for battle. We here to fight. And then we hold our own. I mean, from that point forward, I mean, we held our own. It was competitive the entire time. So that being said, now we didn't line up in front of JK. Like Anthony said, we didn't line up in front of JK. We didn't line up in front of a team that I think could take JK or come close to JK. But we did line up in front of Wallace. That's what we got to do. So I'm looking at it from a big standpoint. I feel like there's no reason that Lakewood doesn't win this. But I also know it's very possible that Clinton pulls it together and knowing what they have, that they could come out there and take the win. I know it can happen. Anybody that thinks it can't happen is a fool. I mean, because like I said, what I saw when I watched Clinton was not a team that can't, a team that didn't. Is what I'm telling you. I see the talent. I see the presence. I felt y'all's energy. I know it's there. And if y'all are able to harness that and hold on to it for an entire football game, it's fixing to be a really long night. It's fixing to be a really long night.
Big facts.
Now, I can look at both sides of the ball and see where it can be exploited. But that's football. That's everybody's job, right? Figure that out, go out there and see if they can pull it off on Friday night. So I wish everybody a safe, healthy game. I wish everybody a day of growth, a day of fellowship, that's right. I mean, hey, this should be clean, man. It shouldn't be nothing but love just across the bridge. Shouldn't be nothing but love just across the bridge. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I love athletes on both sides. I respect all of y'all. I want to see you all be great. I want to see y'all move on. If we didn't, we wouldn't be talking about what we're talking about.
Facts.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody made a comment earlier. I'm gonna add this real quick. I think it was Anthony. He said, "Hey man, you gotta go up, against some hard teams because iron sharpens iron." Let me tell you something. Have you ever looked at how to use a piece of iron to sharpen another piece of iron? They don't just stand next to each other and get sharper. They don't see everything from the same perspective and get sharper. When you sharpen a piece of iron with another piece of iron, it's a lot of friction. It's a lot of beating and banging, a lot of sparks flying. That's how you take a piece of iron and sharpen another piece of iron. There's nothing comfortable, quiet, or easy about it. It's hard. This might be a rivalry. This might be a game 42 years in the making. We've been waiting on this that long to see it again, but it should be nothing but love. We should go out there because we love to play football, line up against each other, and run what you brung. And at the end of the game, it should be daps, hugs, prayers. Everybody go home proud of each other. Because if both teams go out there and give everything they got, there's nothing to be mad about. There's nothing to be mad about. And that's with any football game. You go out there and both teams give everything they got, and you mad, who you mad about? And what you mad for? If you mad when you leave a football game, you're mad at yourself because you knew you had more and you didn't leave it out there. Leave it all on the field Friday night, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Of course, I'm from Lakewood, so hey, ride with them Lepers, baby.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Real quick before I give my Dale Naylor. Hey, sir. I think you might have heard us wrong last week, but we talked nothing but positive about Reed Adams, man. I think Anthony was talking about stuff that people were saying, but we were saying, yeah, Reed is the real deal. He earned that. There's no favoritism. There's no daddy ball, nothing like that. So I think you heard us wrong, brother. So I saw that comment and it kind of threw me off, man. I was like, yo, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about on that one, bro.
I need to just because I know
I ain't never heard nothing bad about him.
We spoke nothing but positive about Reed, man. So I think it was just it was probably just some confusion there. But I just want to clear that up.
I want to say one thing since we brought up the quarterback again. I meant to mention this at the beginning, and I went off track. I want to say Reed is looking fantastic. Definitely looking the part.
Yes,
looking to step up and be a real leader. Have a chance to kind of take the team under the wing this season and do his thing. But I also want to point out our backup quarterback Burrow Strickland. I have seen him in action there in Wallace, and we got to see him a little bit at the Jamboree. And I just want to say, he led our JV squad last year. And I just want to say, man, I actually had to pull him to the side and tell him the other day when I seen him how good he looked in that backfield. I want to say, as another sophomore, getting his first look at, some varsity action, man, I'm super proud of that kid. So y'all definitely keep your ear out because kid's on his way, man. And that's Burrow Strickland, just so y'all know. Man, we're gonna be okay in that area. We're gonna be all right.
All right. Well, man, we'll definitely be checking him out in the future. But well, here we go. Well, let me first start off by apologizing. I'm gonna apologize. I guess my comments this past Saturday, the recap. I guess I was a little, blunt and I guess somewhat cold in my observation. No, I do not change my observation. I saw what I saw. I'm not going to get up here and lie. If I would have got up here and talked about, how good we looked Friday night, y'all would have been looking at me like I was crazy. Because anybody that watched that game saw the same thing. Okay, so that's number one. But I'm gonna apologize because, like I said, it was somewhat blunt. I'm just gonna let you know that comes from a place of, like I said, it comes from a place of love, man. You trust me, you're not gonna get that upset about something that you don't care about. So that's for the folks and I don't feel the need to to defend my fanhood or anything like that to anybody.
Stand on business, Chris. Stand on business, man.
I'm a Clinton fan, So, and I said I'm not going. I don't feel the need to prove that. Like I said, I'm not going. But at the same time, this is a sports podcast. Yes, we are all about uplifting, the kids and programs and stuff. But we're going to talk about these football games, and we're going to offer our real observations. So I'm not going to get up here and give you, pretty lies to make you feel good about yourself. Sometimes you need to hear the ugly truth. I mean, and one thing about our young men, if you're not already used to it, man, you better get used to, dealing with criticism, man. Take criticism the same way you take, compliments because It's going. If you're not used to it, man, you're going to deal with it at some point in time. So kind of get used to that, man. Um, let me see. Where do I even get started? Oh man, let me say this first. Like I said, man, everything came from all my comments came from a place of love, and it was my observations, and there is a path, for Clinton to win this week. And first off, it's going to start with number one: stop the excuses. Stop the excuses. And it's even funnier to me when I hear when I have when I have coaches, people that actually coach the game, giving me the same thing. Now we talk about next man up. We talk about how football is the ultimate team sport. Um, if you're from Clinton, I know you heard this. I know you heard this before. You know, little team, big me. So are we? I mean, big team, little me. So are we? Do we really believe this, or is this just stuff we say? To make us, that sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Like last season when everything went down, and if you're a long time follower, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When everything went down, the main thing, a lot of these people, the same people that were making excuses Friday night, were telling me last year, when all that drama happened around February, March timeframe, that one person isn't bigger than the entire program. So when did that change? When did that change? Now, let me say, I listened to the coaches show yesterday, and same thing I was thinking about. We got 16 seniors, that returned. A lot of them been in the program for 3 years. We only had 5 seniors graduate from last year's team. 3 of them, Ryan McNeil, Asa Brinson, and oh man,
DJ.
and DJ Baggett were pretty much the main contributors. So you really lost 3 seniors. Well, you had 5 seniors, but you lost 3 big time contributors. So you return all these kids. I understand the quarterback. Miles is a real deal, man. He's a very talented quarterback. I've been checking him out over the summer since he's got here. He's a talented quarterback. Yes, he's going to make a difference make a difference for the team. But my point was we should not have looked like that with minus one guy. With all you have returning, we should be further along than what I saw. That's where my frustration came from. Because you got big time leaders on both sides of the ball that return for Clinton. And it just it shouldn't have looked like that. That's that was my main frustration. And I understand it's a scrimmage. I understand you're not showing your whole bag. There's going to be things to get wrinkled out, but it's just that was just my observation. But I just didn't. That's number one. Number one, stop all the damn excuses. Because if this guy doesn't play, if he doesn't play Friday night, so are we rolling with the same excuse? Is that what the mantra is in practice this week? Well, we're practicing for this game, but he's still not playing. So whatever happened Friday night happens. Like that's not Clinton football. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one point I'm making. But like I said, there is a path to victory. Like I said, number one, stop the excuses. Like I said, if the quarterback's not playing, for the coaches, you got to make that adjustment. You got to symbolize that. You got to symbolize that offense a little bit. You got a big offensive line. You got size. Get behind your pads, and if you have to if you have to run a simple offense and the 5-yard them to death on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, you do what you do. You do what you got to do. It may not be sexy. It may not be pretty, but I mean we seen that stuff work. A guy like Jaden Williams in the backfield, if that kid, he's gonna make plays. He knows how to make plays. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. And then if you get Lakewood leaning on in the middle, waiting for that middle run, maybe you can hit a bigger play with, a jet sweep to Jonah Boone, or, a play outside to one of your wide receivers, or get Gavin Miller to the outside. But, you got to symbolize that offense if you're, as a coach, I really never been a fan of, putting all your eggs in one basket, building the entire offense around, one player, because if that player's not there, now what you gonna do now? But that's like I said, there's a path to victory. That's one thing. Defensively, Brandon talked about the issues that Lakewood was having on the offensive line. I noticed there was a quarterback center exchange issue in the shotgun. Maybe take your best defensive lineman, put him right there over the center in his face. Give him a little something else to think about. Take Jaden, take Nathan Barden, blitz that A gap. Just give the kids something else to think. Because one of the things you're going to have to do for Clinton is you're going to have to force mistakes. Right now, I believe Lakewood's the better team. So you're going to have to force mistakes. You're going to have to, if they're going to get off to a slow start like they've done in their scrimmages, you got to capitalize off that. You got to try to force a turnover, force penalties, force mishaps, and not just force them, but also capitalize off them. And just the last thing, like I said, you have 16 seniors returning. Okay, I understand your quarterback's not there, but you got position group leaders that are still out there on that field. They got to step up. You got to keep the energy up. You got to keep the guys motivated. Like I said, one of the things I didn't like seeing guys give up on plays. And I saw that last week. People, like I said, all those excuses, this, that, and third, it still doesn't change the fact that there were plays where kids literally gave up. And yes, that's a culture issue. That's a leadership issue. You got 16 seniors. Somebody needs to step up and say, no, I don't care if, he's not playing. We play to the whistle. It doesn't matter what the score is. We still keep on playing. That's not playing football. Okay? So your team leader, your seniors got to step up. Your position leaders got to step up. And I don't want to think everybody. I don't want to make it seem like it's all negative. Because I did see some positive things. Like Brandon said, I love the energy that the guys came out with. The first drive, I love the energy. You got to keep that. You got to keep that stuff going. I did like what I saw out of Jaden. Nathan Barden, number 34, linebacker. I love some of the stuff I saw out of him. Bryson Mazingo, number 12, hustled made a touchdown saving tackle that he actually got shaken up on. I love seeing stuff like that. We saw Aaron Cooper, who didn't get a lot of reps, but came in towards the end and had a good run. So there's positive. There's stuff that to build on. Like I said, my frustration is the potential is there. The potential is there. All the stuff we saw, all the guys we had coming back, and all the stuff I talked about preseason, it's right there. You don't return the amount of guys you have and look and play like that. That's the main thing I was trying to hit on. But like I said, I understand my delivery wasn't the best. And like I said, I'm a little blunt. I was a little frustrated. But like I said, anybody questioning, my fanhood or whatever for playing, like I said, you're not gonna get that upset over a team over something you don't care about. Nothing against East Bladen or any other team like that. But if East Bladen goes out Friday night and has a poor performance, it's not going to affect me the way it would watching, my dark horses. So that's just that. I understand that some people, they go through life with rose-colored sunglasses on, and they only see, you just don't see no negatives. But it's just that's not good, man. A coach hit me up with a really good observation, and he said like a lot of times people don't give these kids reality anymore. They pretty much delusions at an all-time high. Like I said, if you don't bring on Friday night, and you want me to sit up here and
Boy, Kristen broke the
get fit.
web, boy.
But my thing, but look, if I have to be the villain, and I told Brandon this, if I have to be the villain to, get y'all to light a fire under you, I will be the villain. Trust me, I don't mind. It's happened before. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time someone's had an issue with, what something I said. So, with that being said, as far as the game goes Friday night, I gave you what Clinton needs to do to win the game. Like I said, it seems like the entire program is hell bent on making it about one player. And if that's the motive, if that's the the mantra we're going with right now, then it's not gonna be pretty Friday night. So I'm gonna pick Lakewood because the guy that everyone's leaning on he's not supposed to play. I know I've heard different things. I thought I heard that he's not coming back to the midway game, but we'll see. But if he's not gonna play, and if that's the mantra we're going with, then I'm gonna take Lakewood Friday night.
Look, I'm a I'm gonna add lib a little bit. Guys, I know Chris, we've talked outside of this show for a season and a half before this season started. I can speak for sure on his love for Clinton High School football. That's where he graduated from. That's where he stood in the trenches and fought through his football career at. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody, not on this podcast, not in this county, besides schools that you guys actually face, like in your conference, that's pulling against Dark Horse football. Especially not the athletes out there. Like I said earlier, you guys are the pinnacle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was hanging their hat on you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like these teams that in the Stanton County that wasn't making it to that next level or couldn't get to them championship games. Y'all still gave hope. Y'all still get. Everybody was still like, well, at least Clinton's still fighting. I mean, so everybody's not down on y'all. Everybody's not trying to put y'all in the dirt. Like Chris is genuine. Like, I mean, do y'all hear the way he talked about Carolina Panthers last year? Like, that was he don't even wear their colors no more. My man put on green and yellow. I mean, so think about that. Like, he went to Clinton. You know what I'm saying? He fought in the trenches right there at Clinton. I mean, he's been started this podcast and, Clinton had been riding a high for a good little minute. He started this for y'all. This was a Clinton-based podcast. If y'all didn't notice, when he first started, his logos and everything was Clinton black and gold.
That's true.
Like, everything was about Clinton his whole first year. We won't talk about nobody else unless they had to face Clinton. Yes, some unfortunate events transpired over the years. Yes, Chris had a lot of opinions about those. Would he give a damn if he didn't give a damn about y'all? That's what you really got to ask yourself. If you don't care about a program, if you don't care about anything, you're just not going to care. Why are you going to take the time and the energy to point out what you see, how to make it better, what you want it to be if you don't care about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris does this out of love. And if you can't see that he wants y'all back on top, that he wants y'all to be the pinnacle, that he wants to see these athletes being successful, then I don't know whose glasses you're looking through, but you need to borrow Stevie Wonder's. Because in the little time I've known Chris, I know where he stands with Clinton. And it's not in a place of he's disappointed. He's not bitter. He doesn't dislike you guys. He's disappointed in what he sees. He wants to see the glory days remain in Clinton. He wants to see the glory days of the Dark Horses keep stomping on. That's all. That's what he wants. So if you're mad at Chris, you got to be mad at your entire fan base because they see what he sees and they feel what he feels. They just ain't telling you. At least Chris got the guts to sit up here and tell you what's really real.
Hey, real quick, I apologize. I guess we're having some connection issues, man. I guess it started talking. I guess it started. Hopefully, people heard it. What everything I said. I guess it started when I was talking, but I guess we're having a little bit of connection issues. But I have to apologize for that. Hopefully, everyone can hear me okay now. I'm catching a little bit of static. But I guess that maybe they may be telling that may be the universe's way of telling us, hey, all right, it's time to close up. But
It says stop beating a dead horse.
yeah, stop beating a dead horse. Like,
Oh, no pun intended. No pun intended. Don't put that on me.
Pun intended.
No, don't put that on me.
Pun intended. But like I said, I understand. Like I said, I understand how maybe some parents feel like you're talking bad about their kids and whatnot, but it's not that, man. Like I said, I want it's criticism. It's gonna happen, especially in sports. I mean, like I said, if you're watching your favorite team on a Sunday or a Saturday and you never you never ever what the hell is that? You're lying to yourself, man. So, like I said, I'm always gonna root for the dark horses. I mean, even last year when everything was going bad, every week, despite trying to cover all these other schools, I always had Clinton, either in my ear or on my phone, checking out the game, despite the results. So, like I said, I don't feel the need to, try to prove my fanhood because I'm a fan. So.
Hey, they want to hear it from somebody else. Go back and listen to the podcast after a 4th round loss in the playoffs last year. You won't hear a happy leopard. I promise you that. Like, I mean,
but I want to apologize for anybody that if the audio is acting up for anybody, I apologize. Hopefully everybody could hear everything that was said pretty good. But before we close out real quick, man, I want to go through 10 10 games real quick. We ain't got to discuss it. Just a quick pick. Just give me who's going to win.
Let's ready, baby. Let's go.
Oh, you ready, huh? Just real quick. I don't just tell me who you think's going to win. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, so North Duplin versus Southside. I got North Duplin.
North Duplin.
Hey Brandon, I know you can hop on too, dog, because you picking for Anthony right now.
God, I don't want to, but North Duplin.
All right, Pender versus West Bladen. I got Pender.
I got Pender. Hold up, man. We're gonna have to disagree somewhere on this list, man.
Oh, it's coming.
It's gonna come. It's gonna come. All right, Whiteville versus West Columbus. I got Whiteville.
Whiteville.
But all my numbers was written down prior, so I'm not riding no way.
All right. Tarboro versus Rocky Mount. I got Tarboro.
How do you can't disagree on these? Tarboro.
Yeah, these are shooters right here. Tarboro. Now this one we might separate.
All right, Vance County versus Warren County. Oh man, I like for some, and Brandon Coach Brandon. I'm sorry, man. For some reason, I like Warren County.
Good, because I'm rocking with the Vipers, baby. Northern Advanced alumni. We going with the Vipers all the way. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with Anthony on this one.
All right, so my bad. I'm just trying to write these down real quick. All right, our next one, Kinston versus South Central. I'm going with Kinston.
Yeah, Special K. They got it.
Yeah.
All right, Red Springs versus Anson. I'm going Red Springs.
I'm going Anson.
I'm going Anson. As bad as that hurts, I'm going Anson.
All right, St. Paul's versus Purnell Sweat. Shout out to Mr. Charles Williams. I'm going St. Paul's.
Mr. Williams, I ain't forgot about that 71st game. We got that circle on the calendar.
Oh, we got him. Oh, we got him. He's marked. He's marked, man. We got him.
I'm going to St. Paul's here.
I'm gonna have to go with y'all on that. Ah.
All right, Western Guilford versus Southeast Guilford. Shout out to Coach Juan. We going Western Guilford on that one.
I'm going Southeast.
I got Southeast.
Southeast. All right, and the last game, JF Webb versus Western Hornet. Shout out to Coach Gainey, man. I'm going with them Webb Warriors starting off the season on top.
I got JF Webb to close it out.
Yeah, definitely going with Webb.
Alrighty. And Anthony, man, you wasn't here when I was talking about it, man. Like I said, we gonna tally it up at the end of the season, and whoever gets the most, man, we'll give like I said, $100 gift certificate. I was talking about Texas Roadhouse, but I mean whatever restaurant y'all like, you know what I'm saying?
Tight. I fully plan on winning this year. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Homework King. You got more game study than I do because your reach is way different, man. I know you be on NFHS heavy too. I got my subscription today, so yeah.
Hey, look, the best $13 I ever spent. You know, it's good, especially if you want to check out a lot of different teams. But real quick, man, before we close out, man, I just want to thank everyone for listening there. All the comments, we had a lot of comments this evening. I apologize if I didn't get to you personally. Like I said, we just had a lot of games, just a lot of stuff to talk about, and we're long winded, man. But definitely appreciate all the support, gentlemen. Before we close out, man, any final thoughts?
I got one that kind of hit close to home.
I already know what you about to say,
last
man.
Night,
yeah.
One of my kids that I had the fortune to coach, Jameek Joyner. He lost his life to gun violence last night. He was survived by his younger brother who just graduated, Salim, and his sister who was an upcoming senior, Sabria, and his mother. They're all good people. Jameek was a very good kid that was just, maybe went astray a little bit, but I mean, he was still a good human being, man, and didn't deserve that. He was a heck of a basketball player. I don't think he ever really played football, but he was a hooper. He went to Clinton for a little bit, and then he graduated from Hopton in 2023. One of the worst things, like last week, I did a memorial piece about Miss Susan Blue, who was a Midway legend in basketball, but this was way different, man, because this child was only 20 years old. I don't want to be writing about none of my players, bro, and talking about them losing life. So I implore y'all young kids, man, stay in sports, stay busy doing something positive, man. Leave them guns and crap alone, bro. Y'all ain't even got a chance to start seeing what life is, man. You ain't even got a chance to see. You don't even know what you really want to do till you about 25, 26, man. You still trying to figure yourself out, and you going at 20 years old. You don't even know what life is about at that age, man. And for his mother, man, no parent wants to bury their child, man. Now we done lost Samir. Now we done lost Jameek. Like, this shit is stupid, man. I'm going to digress because I ain't trying to get emotional up here on this platform. I've been vocal enough about how I feel about it. But I just implore the young kids that are in sports now, stay in sports or stay in some type of activity in school and just do right, man. Live your life. Don't do nothing stupid, man.
Man, I'm.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's why it's important, guys. Like, hold yourselves accountable. Hold your friends accountable. That's how you help them stay on the right path. That's how you help your peers make the right decisions. Like, if you one of them people You see somebody about to do something stupid, and you get behind them, and you encourage that behavior, and you egg them on and push them. You are not a friend of that person. I want you to know that. I'm guilty of it. I've had friends, hey man, I'm about to do such and such. Yeah. Do it. Knowing good and well, should have been doing that, miss. Just to get a laugh, or what it really boils down to, you didn't really care about that person at all, as much as you want to say you did. You didn't really care about that person. If you can encourage them to go do something that risked it being in trouble or risk their life or somebody else's life, like you didn't care about that person. So I challenge you all, any kids that are on here right now, to learn what it means to be a real friend and be that. You know what I'm saying? A real friend, much like I was talking about the iron sharpen the iron, a real friend is always in your corner, but I always encourage you to do the right thing. Always in your corner doesn't mean that I encourage you to go do something stupid. Being in your corner doesn't mean I have to agree with the actions you're about to take and encourage you to go take those actions. Man, you you don't know. Being a good friend to somebody in a bad situation can be all the difference in the world. You know, he might have could have picked up his phone and called somebody, and they said, "Hey, man, you know, I don't know what the situation was. I don't know what happened. I don't know a lot about the story. I'm just saying, for anybody in a bad situation, sometimes all it takes is a phone call or knowing that there's somebody they can call. But if they out there doing stuff they ain't got no business doing, and they're like, well, everybody always told me to do it. Everybody always thought it was funny when I did it. Everybody encouraged this behavior. What you think they're gonna do? They're gonna go for what they know. So I'm encouraging all you kids, man, be there for one another, support each other. And parents, I'm gonna tell you the same thing. I know it's so easy to look at our kids and want to believe that they're perfect little angels. Man, we gotta call them on ABS. We gotta hold them accountable for the things that they're doing. They're not always gonna listen, but we got to show them if the path that they're on is right or wrong. We got to try to encourage them. Listen, a lot of people get caught up in stuff that's just the wrong place at the wrong time. They have a thing to do in the world to do with them. But guess what? If somebody would have been encouraging the person on the other end of that, it might not have happened to them. So it goes both ways, man. As parents, we owe it to our kids to not only keep them safe, but to teach them how to help keep their friends safe. To teach them to be good friends, because there's not many of them out here in this world. To teach them what it means to truly care about somebody and be there for somebody. Man, it ain't all about sports. It ain't all about ball. This is our youth, man. This is our youth. This is our future. These are real lives. And I'm just gonna say, I've been around enough to know there ain't nothing in these streets for nobody. There ain't nothing in the streets for nobody. Evil is amongst us. Evil is running rampant in this world. And the only thing we can do is stand together, support one another, and pray against it. Hey, God says where both the two joins, he's in our presence. We got to stand on that. We got to believe that. We got to learn to deny our thoughts, forget who this says we are, and know who we are based off scripture, who God says we are. That's real mental toughness. That's really what teaches you how to get through things that you never thought you'd be able to walk through in life, is knowing when this thing right here starts telling you one thing, take it to the Bible, find the scripture. What's the scripture say? Does it line up? If it don't line up, then you got to change this. Line this with that word. Stay in it. That's how you fight evil. If you don't know the word, you put a gun with no bullets. Man, that's where we get off at, man. We gotta hold each other accountable. We gotta pray for one another. We gotta be there for each other. It's a community, man. It ain't me, it ain't Anthony, it ain't Chris against the world. You know what I'm saying? It's good versus evil. You find good people and you circle yourself with them. And y'all support each other. And when you run into bad people, you pray for them.
Yes, sir.
Because that's the only real help. I'm done, man. I love y'all.
Man, definitely appreciate that, man. Like I said, man, rest in peace to that young man, Jameek Jordan. prayers for his family, prayers to the whole city, man. Hate to see stuff like that. And I don't mean to end abruptly, but I got to go ahead and close things out. But be sure to check us out for our recap show Saturday morning. We'll be talking about all these games and recap these games then. And good luck to everyone Friday night. Safe travels to all those traveling to the games, and hoping for just great football, injury free, no BS, and enjoy y'all. Well, let me take time. Appreciate you gentlemen for joining me this evening. Thanks everyone for listening in. Bucks Free Sports Podcast. We're signing off. We'll see y'all Saturday.
God bless.